Hello folks, what a weekend. Hope you had a great Father's Day. I did. My daughter came and saw me. Had a great time. What have I been doing since 6 o'clock this morning? That has been my friend. God, it's not my friend now, I can tell you, but anyway. I have been playing around with a bit of road and everything. So that's been my morning since 6:30, and I've just gone in to have a drink and sit down, try and catch up on the Formula One from last night, and I get a message. Senator Roberts is on tonight's show. It must be September 2nd, I've lost track of the dates. So I've just sat down to try and put some questions together. We're going to have to record this because of his schedule, and I'll record it with him this afternoon and replay it this evening. So I'm not giving you very much notice, but if you have a question you would like to ask Senator Roberts and you'd have me ask on your behalf, then email it to me, carl@vofhq.com. If you're seeing this before 1 o'clock today, Australian Eastern Standard Time, September 2nd, don't bother, because the interview will already be in progress or due to start at 1. So I would need your questions in the next hour and a half or so. If you would like me to put them forward, I would need your name and a state, at least, of where you live. Maybe you can give a town if you like, but a state of where you live and your name. I'm not fussed whether or not it's your nickname. So let us know if you've got a question. Would love to pass it or ask it on your behalf for and of Senator Roberts when we catch up at 1 o'clock today. So that's the opportunity that I can give you for a lovely Monday. And isn't it a lovely Monday? You want to have a look? There's a cloud in the sky. Can't have been spraying. But we've had some news here about spraying. We're moving some containers around at the moment too. So that's one of the wood piles yet to be chipped. Yeah, we've had some news about spraying around here too, which is distressing to say the least. The local council have decided they're going to aerial spray this whole area for fire ants. And I don't mean just this property, I mean basically everything on this range, from the army base all the way through. Now, I've seen a helicopter in other parts of the scenic rim spraying in the last few months. I didn't realise it was for fire ants. I thought it was actually crop dusting. Is that council, Queensland at least, have the ability to come onto your if they call it fire ants. So and they're going to aerial spray everything, which isn't good if you've got newborn lambs, newborn goats, kids. We've got dams, we've got all sorts of things around here. So yeah, so it's a bit of a concern, and we're not the only ones. Obviously, there are a lot of people in this whole area who have this sort of shit. Very concerning. So I've only found out about it this morning, so we're going to go and have a bit of a look into that and see what more can be said or exposed. But councils seem to be able to operate with some form of impunity. And in fact, if you try and impede them in any way, judging from what I've read this morning, they'll arrest you and locked up for not letting them on the property. You can put locks on your gates, you can put no trespass signs up, you can put whatever you like. They don't care, they just come straight on. And because we the people have no enforcement arm, what happens? You resist, you get arrested. You are bent into compliance if you don't resist. Is that the way you think government was formed by the people? Maybe many of you might be latecomers to all of this. What came first, the people or government? Did the government create the people, or did the people create the government? So only the imbecile would say that the government came first. So let's hope there's not too many watching this that would agree with that. So the people came first. The people created government. They would not have. They would have created an instrument that picked up the shit in the streets, made the streets better, maybe put in public toilets and made sure they got emptied. Made sure the public order was kept. but did not impede the people from doing their daily tasks. And certainly does not issue a letter that says we're going to aerial spray your property, and by the way, what we're going to aerial spray it with can be carcinogenic, can cause cancer in humans, and get away with it with impunity. Do you think we the people created that kind of government? If you do, you're a bloody idiot. Because we didn't. We never would. Not even those people way back in the day when government was created. How many of you know when that was? I've come across a lot of people in the last week who rah, rah, rah about the freedom movement. Let's all go and do great things. And yet, those people tend to be the ones who sit and watch everybody else go and do great things. It's not going to be the few doing great things. It's going to be all of us doing great things, folks. All of us. Without all of us, none of the great things the few of us do will matter. It's that simple. You have to be on board. We have to find a solution. We have to find our own enforcement arm, because it's clear the corporation's enforcement arm, the police, are not working for the people. You cannot expect any support out of them. The military, well, the military are busy at the moment on exercises. We've got B-2 stealth bombers flying around, which I'll be honest, is not as dramatic as today's headlines are making it seem. These bombers come to Australia, and the agreement was signed, I think it was 4 or 6 years ago, that they would be coming here quite regularly, once every 2 years, if not every year. We had and have had 4 Spirit B-2 stealth bombers based at Amberley previously. One of them blew an engine, and they had to bring more engines out from America. They spent a lot of time at Amberley. And yes, there is an area of regard, potentially due to China, I would have thought, and possibly Indonesia, although I see we've signed an agreement with Indonesia now. I don't know, does that mean we're still going to go send our troops into Irian Jaya to watch Indonesian troops murder West Papuan natives? I don't know if that was ever in a treaty we had previously, but that's certainly what our troops did. Went, reconned the jungle, reconned the Indonesian troops, slaughtering tribes in West Papua. What the Australian government do about it? Absolutely fucking nothing. Nope, just sent more blokes over there to hide in the trees and watch. Now I know many of those blokes wanted to act, because what they saw were crimes against humanity. But they were not allowed to. Their rules of engagement would not allow them. Who comes up with the rules of engagement? The politicians. That's who. We can't do anything until we, the people, rise up and become our own enforcement arm, folks. And I don't know. Are you brave enough? I don't know. Malcolm Roberts may have a solution, and I hope to ask him more about that today. I don't want there to be bloodshed, but somebody very important to me once pointed out that there's never been an uprising in history where blood wasn't spilled. Certainly not on the scale we've got. Is so great. They know that should the majority of the people find out about it, there will be not one rock on this earth they could hide under, not one tunnel deep enough, not one mountain high enough to escape the wrath of the people. But that'll only work if the people actually are angry and not apathetic. Oh yeah, somebody will do it. Somebody else will have a go. Oh yeah, we'll pop along, we'll watch that bloke read that, or we'll go to these speeches, we'll wave the flag. You know, we'll agree to the motions that are put forward. Doesn't matter how much money you get, $200,000, $2. And that's pretty apparent because we run around here and I smell of an oily rag. In fact, you want to see it? There's the oily rag and there's where it's going. All right? So that's how it works around here. But it wouldn't matter if we did have $200,000. All that would enable me to try and do is get more of you motivated. Because $200,000 isn't going to save the problem. What we need is more of you to stand up. What we need is more people to show, I think, the likes of Senator Roberts, potentially Senator Rennick and Antic, and Babbitt, who currently are all affiliated with parties, well, except Rennick, of course, who's now just gone out as an independent. People first, I think. Gerard Rennick, people first. Well, if that's what it's really about, that's something I'd really like to look further into. There are, I think, people who are trying to do the right thing in the Parliament. I believe Senator Roberts is one of them, and I look forward to talking to him today. So, as I started saying at the beginning of this, if you are interested in asking the Senator a question, that's Senator Roberts, please email me. You've got, let's call it an hour and a quarter. I'm going to cut it off at 1:45 my time, so I can get the questions out and get them in an order before I start my interview with him at 1 o'clock. I won't do that interview live. I said I'd pre-record it, but I will not edit that interview. It'll be as it's done, and it will in fact start tonight's show. So you'll see it as it goes. So please, folks, if you've got questions in the chat, don't send those to me. I can't read them in the chat at the moment, and if you want to get on and just email them to me, that'd be great. Carl at vofhq.com. Would really appreciate it. All right, I'm going to go and help the boys who've just turned up, looking for all sorts of things, no doubt. And looks like a rubbish run might be in my future. Have to be a quick one. And we'll be back a little later on this evening, 6:30 normal time, for the show. So please, folks, I see somebody says ask about the 28. I do plan to ask something about the 28, but I've already seen Malcolm Roberts' stance on this. I'm not going to push it because we're not going to get any answers from him, and I'm not going to alienate him. Potentially this is a line of communication from the people to somebody who's actually in power at the moment. I might be overstating that. This might just be an interview that he's been avoiding for I don't know how long and decided finally to do it, but I hope not. Senator Roberts I've been pretty hard on. I've been hard on Rennick as well, not so hard on Antic, and Babbitt I really haven't given a great deal of airtime to, but I do watch and respect. In fact, Babbitt's speeches with the Tucker Carlson tour were outstanding. Outstanding. And if I'm honest, so was Clive. But we all have our reservations about United Australia Party. Many have reservations about One Nation. We all have more than reservations about the Liberal and Labor parties, the Greens, the Nationals, and the Teals. Is there a party? Could there ever be a party for the people? So I'm not sure that Senator Roberts will be in a position to talk a great deal about that other than euphemistically or hypothetically. He may be able to shed a little bit of light on Rennick, but I'm hopeful that through this conversation with him, I might also get a conversation with Senator Rennick, and I would be interested in seeing how he plans to push forward the People's First Party, and as an independent running in the state of Queensland, what sort of hope and help he expects, and can we possibly help him? That'll be up for you to decide. Well, if he wants to come on and have a chat and explain his position, then love to have him, but that's for another day. Today is Senator Malcolm Roberts from One Nation. So go away, get your questions together and email them to me now, please. Carl at vofhq.com. So we'll say just over an hour's time. At 1 o'clock I'm going to start this interview. So I need your questions in by 1:45 Australian Eastern Standard Time, September 2nd, if you're just watching this in replay. Righto, guys, have a great afternoon. Go to it, and I'll talk to you soon.